Our countdown of the top 10 baseball players in the hobby for the 2021 season takes us to our neighbors up north, where we're talking about one of the many multi-generational stars playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. What's going on, everybody? Cody back with you with our number 7 pick as we are counting down the top 10 players in Major League Baseball, both on the field and in the trading card world. For our number 7 spot, we're focusing on one of the most exciting young teams in baseball and maybe the most exciting young player on that team, Toronto Blue Jays shortstop Bo Bichette. If you've been following minor league baseball these past few years, the rise of the Toronto Blue Jays shouldn't be coming as a surprise to you. After back-to-back ALCS appearances in 2015 and 16, the organization hit the reset button and have accumulated one of the strongest collections of young talent in the game of baseball, led by a trio of second-generation star prospects. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been the name on the minds of fans and collectors alike since he signed out of the Dominican Republic with the Toronto Blue Jays. And Bo Bichette made an instant impact in the majors thanks to his versatility and his patience at the plate. But the guy that has, maybe somewhat surprisingly, become the favorite among the hobby is shortstop Bo Bichette. Granted, Bichette was considered a consensus top 15 prospect in baseball prior to his call-up, but it was Guerrero who was the consensus number 1 prospect in baseball prior to his rookie season, and even Bichette has a more famous baseball lineage than Bichette. No disrespect to former Rockies great Dante Bichette. But when you have the start to a career like Bichette has, it's easy to see why he's become the star of Toronto's baseball babies. Bichette took the game by storm after being called up at the end of July in 2019. Among the records he smashed, he set a new Blue Jays record with 45 hits in his first 30 games. He became the first player in Major League history to have 10 extra base hits in his first 9 career games. And he became the first rookie to have at least 1 extra base hit in 9 straight games since Ted Williams back in 1939. And just in case you thought 2019 was a fluke, Bichette kicked off the 2020 season by setting yet another record, recording an extra base hit and an RBI in 7 straight games, a first among shortstops in Major League history. Really, the only thing holding Bichette back at this point is his lack of playing time in the major leagues. Although the thought of what Bichette might become after such a hot start may be the thing helping his overall card value. The 23-year-old's big league output has been limited to just 75 games. But what a 75 games it's been. That stat line is impressive on its own. But if you see what those numbers might look like over a full 162-game season, Bichette would be in elite company. Only 25 different shortstops in baseball history have hit 30 home runs in a single season, and only 4 of those shortstops, Gleyber Torres, Francisco Lindor, Nomar Garciaparra, and Alex Rodriguez, accomplished that feat at 23 years old or younger, Bichette's age entering the 2021 season. And since Bichette accomplished something in his rookie season that only the man known as the greatest hitter who ever lived did, let's compare their 75-game starts. While Williams' line is legendary, it's pretty impressive that Bichette has hit more home runs, just as many doubles, just a shade below him in batting average, but there is a number that is concerning when comparing the two: Bichette's walk percentage. Granted, not very many players in their early 20s are as freakishly patient as Ted Williams. Well, except one guy, but that's for another video. But Bichette's walk rate, which was in the bottom 6 percentile in 2019 and dropped to the bottom 4 in 2020, is a cause for concern. 75 games is still a very small sample size, and after returning from the injured list in the last 2 weeks of the regular season, Bichette cooled off considerably, and he didn't hit a single home run the rest of the way. And furthermore, you know what? I can't keep giving you reasons not to love this kid's future. I mean, every time I watch this guy swing, I'm reminded why I'm so excited about him. That beautiful, violent swing, that ability to hit the ball all over the field. I don't have to tell you the guy can hit. He is one of the most aesthetically pleasing guys at the plate right now in the game of baseball. Even in a packed field of up-and-coming star shortstops, Bichette's power potential helps him stand out among the crowd. And he plays in Toronto, maybe the most underrated major market in American professional sports. When we talk about taking where a player plays into account when judging their long-term value in the hobby, places like New York, Los Angeles, and Boston are thrown around as top spots for players to call home. But Toronto should be right up there. Sure, it's a hockey town first and foremost, but remember how electric the Sky Dome sounded back in 2015? Or those images of fans showing up 12 hours before tip-off of the NBA Finals to watch the Raptors from outside of the arena. Passion is great and all, but Toronto also has the numbers to justify their place as one of the best major markets in professional sports. The city has a population of 2.7 million. That would place it third among Major League Baseball cities. But the Blue Jays have the distinct advantage of being the only baseball team in the country. So let's take that 2.7 million and boost it 30 million plus. Who cares about being the face of baseball when you can be the face of the Great White North? Of course, to become the face of baseball in Canada, you have to be on a good team. And the Blue Jays are on the precipice of becoming just that. In case you forgot, Vlad's kid is still there, and he's still only 22 years old, and he filled the team's quote-unquote best shape of his life quota this spring training. And judging by his StatCast numbers from 2020, which put his average exit velocity and hard hit percentage among the best in baseball, a breakout season from the former top prospect feels inevitable. Throw in top pitching prospect Nate Pearson, Simeon, and their big prize this offseason, former Astros outfielder George Springer, and you can see why there's a lot of reasons to be excited, not just about this season, but for the Blue Jays' future as well. If you already have some Bo Bichette cards stashed away in your personal collection, or you're looking to add some, there's a ton to be excited about, and a ton of room for growth. Maybe the only thing that could hold him back is the rise of his own teammate, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The moment Vlad starts to fulfill his potential, it's probably him that we're talking about over Bichette. But Bichette does play the flashier position, and if there's anything we've learned over the last year plus in the hobby, it's that flashy, power-hitting star shortstops are pretty in vogue right now. As they say, rising tides lifts all ships, and if Vlad and Bo can become the modern-day Big Papi and Manny Ramirez, everybody wins. That's going to do it for today. Next week, we talk about our number 6 player on our list, a guy who has become one of the most talked about baseball players in the hobby over the last couple of seasons. We look at the astronomical expectations set for him versus the reality of the player he was last year and the player he might be going forward. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to Mojobreak Media for more content all throughout the Major League Baseball season and beyond.